When I moved out of my house, I got rid of a lot of things. Most of the things I got rid of were kind of essentially had to happen. However, when I packed up my office and my things, I was not sure where I was heading, where my life was going. I packed a lot of stuff to bring with me. Things I thought I would need, things that at the time were of value to me. I kept things because they were handy in my old life, whether they were camera mounts, overhead lighting for filming, whether they were tools or things that were of value or were handy to use for projects. Even if they were things that were treasured at the time or family keepsakes. After all these years, maybe they didn't mean as much as I thought they once did to me. Most of these things have stayed in boxes for well over 4 years. These boxes and things have now been moved twice. Many of those boxes are still sealed and have not been touched since 2018. And even when I moved, some of the new ones I packed haven't been touched since the fall of 2020 when I moved a second time. I'm not sure what the future holds. I'm not sure how long I can afford to stay living where I'm living. With everything going up in costs, the time is ticking away. And when that time comes, I will have to have another sell everything again sale. Put a big red dumpster underneath my balcony and start throwing everything off the 3rd floor that didn't sell over the big sell everything sale. Many of the things that I've hung on to will be the ones that are going for sure. Some of the things I've kept have been a reminder of my past. Things that at one time were a part of my life. Things that I have lived without over the last few years. Things that I've had to do without when I was younger and I bought when I could afford them just to keep them and have them on hand just in case. Obviously, if the boxes are still sealed, I haven't had a need for them over the last nearly 5 years. There is no point in hanging on to a bunch of stuff in boxes, a bunch of stuff that is brand new, a bunch of stuff that hasn't been touched or used in many years. There's no point in keeping things that are no longer relevant in your current life. If you hold on to every slip of paper, everything that you ever have gotten, whether it was a birthday card, Christmas gift, even wrapping paper or those little bags that gifts will come in, eventually you will get buried in a bunch of useless garbage. The hard part comes is deciding what is useless garbage and what is good stuff. Good things that you're going to use in the immediate future. What is not of any value anymore because your hobbies have changed. Things that you don't use frequently. Things that you just have to cut loose and let go. Somebody once told me, if you haven't used it in the last 6 months, then you might as well get rid of it. Because, well, truth is you actually don't need it. And by that logic, it is true. There's a lot of stuff I probably could get rid of. I'm obviously going to try to sell some of these good items. Things that are obsolete or outdated now will obviously have to go. If I can sell some of these said items and make a couple $100, it'll go toward my next project or possibility of a summer adventure or road trip in the future. Kind of whichever comes first. Hanging on to things only goes so far before you get buried in your good stuff and you can't find anything anywhere anymore. When my life became confusing back pre-2018 with the garage and the house, I would buy supplies for a project, whether it was fasteners or hardware or hinges or electrical when I was building my cargo trailer, my basement stuff, whatever. And because of the chaos and confusion in my life, it would get put away and I would forget about it. And with things going the way they were, I wouldn't get back to it. And then months later or so, when I got back around to doing the project, I forgot that I bought the supplies for doing said project. So I'd go out and I'd buy more to complete the project. When I was tearing down my old life back in 2018, I found a lot of stuff. Stuff upon stuff upon stuff that I even forgot that I had. Stuff that I could have used in previous projects 2 or 3 times over. I had enough stuff in that garage that I probably could have lived the rest of my life doing projects, whether it was welding, woodworking, being creative, filming videos. Everything became so chaotic and confusing for me in those few years that things got lost and forgotten. I am not living an episode of Hoarders by far. It's not that bad for me. My collection is stuff that I saved from my old life that is no longer current in my new life. I am doing this for the potential of a future, for the potential of having to move with a couple months' notice. If that happens, what do I do with all my things, all my good stuff? I can't afford to put them in storage. I can't afford to rent a sea can at like $150 a month, because that'll quickly overcome in value the items that are inside. Don't fear change. Change will come regardless of whether you want it to or not. You gotta get going. You gotta sort through these things. You gotta stay almost one step ahead and realize that it's just stuff. Stuff can be rebought. Stuff can be refound. Stuff can be reacquired. But that's my plans for the future. Declutter. Get rid of some stuff that I've been hanging on to, and move on from my old life. Thanks for watching.